So for those that don't know Guero Palma is one of the guys that started off with Chapo and those guys back in the day. And he's been portrayed in all of the TV shows, the Narcos Mexico, the Netflix Chapo show, and often ask, if his story was a story where on a more notorious level that the cartel started targeting family. I want to dig into the story in depth one day soon. I've seen it portrayed in different movies and TV shows. The basic gist of it, I don't know how much this part is true, but the basic gist of it is that the hitman that was ordered to take out Guero Palma's family got close to his wife, and manipulated her, got her trust, took her life, and then videotaped himself getting rid of her children off of a bridge, right? Which was Guero Palma's wife and child, right? They say he went crazy. He went after everybody's family, okay? And got due. But that's a story we'll get into another day. He's been in prison for a very, very long time. And just recently, he's done an interview. We're seeing these men that are up in age, that are in these penitentiaries, that did these things. They too have their rights that they denied people. But it seems he has some things to say in his older age. Now, we've been hearing recently that he wasn't in good health and they moved him from prisons and this and that. We got to look into that, because all that moving him stuff, meanwhile, now he's doing interviews. That sounds like he might got something in the dossier that somebody might want to know. That's just me and my, paranoia. Guero Palma's a sad story, indeed. Let's get it back on topic. They don't have a translation for it as far as an AI voice, so it's your boy today. Let's see what he's what he has to say. I've already paid for what they accused me of. I don't owe anything more. Come on, man. What did the twins' father tell them? That they'll never let you alone. They'll always want something from you. They'll take everything. They don't really care about how much Guero Palma's telling them that, he's served his time. They don't give a shit. All right, Hector Palma. Wait, what's his name? Hector Palma Salazar, drug trafficker, better known as Guero Palma, says the Mexican government wants him to die in prison. He want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. This is the first exclusive interview since his arrest in 1995. Wow, 95. What a time. The lawyers have failed in their attempt to get their client released. In Mexico and in the United States, he's considered a founder of the Sinaloa Cartel, along with El Chapo. Palma's 63 years old and faces 2 homicide charges. I'm sure Buddy got way more bodies than that. Right? Shout out, I cumplido mi condena. God, Ferrari started. They say he was one of the top exporters of cocaine. Guero Palma declared himself a political prisoner, which so often happens. Yo, look at him. He's making them wait. He's waving at people and shit. He arguing with them and shit. Hold on, man. I gotta talk to my people. What the fuck are we doing? All right, hold on. Let me see what she's talking about. He says the Mexican government wants him to die in prison. One of the most emblematic figures in the history of drug trafficking in Mexico. 3 decades of legal battles in various courts, facing high-level accusations of homicide and drug trafficking in the 1980s. But today he claims to be a political prisoner of the Mexican government. La verdad desconozco. What's desconozco? I know conozco. Is he saying, I don't know what the motive is that they don't want to come out, but I've seen that the president, el señor presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador, he's been obstructing my liberty over and over again. On 3 occasions, he's done it, but I don't know why he's doing it. Salvables, don't know equals desconozco. Okay, cool. They keep repeating the same shit. He spoke to us exclusively. He did it via telephone from a maximum security prison from Altiplano. It will happen. They already closed up Chapo's tunnel after years of the government not allowing him to be interviewed inside the prison. He's one of the biggest ever in Mexico and a staunch enemy of the defunct Guadalajara cartel, which unleashed a great wave of violence that still plagues the country. Accused of allegedly helping El Chapo Guzman escape from prison in 2001. But today he says it's time to let me free, right? Can't hold me here no more. I've served my time. Let me out. I decided that it's time. Now, what was his sentence? Was he still fighting cases? What are we talking about here? It's been excessive, the abuse that they've committed against me, against the law. I paid for what they accused me of and sentenced me for, and I don't owe anymore. On June 24th, 1995, the then Attorney General's office sent this press release notifying of his arrest. He'd been captured by a ranch in Zapopan, Jalisco, where he was recovering from injuries caused by a plane crash. He was accused of being one of the biggest generators of violence in Mexico, as the head of the Sinaloa cartel and moving tons of cocaine. He said, He said, I was never part of a cartel, ever. I'm not part of one now, and I wasn't part of one then, or I've never been part of one. In 2007, he was extradited to the United States. Jesus, you keep repeating yourself. Accused of being one of the country's major drug traffickers. Got a 16-year sentence. Well, we done passed that one up already, huh? He was released 9 years later for good behavior. Then what happened? As soon as he set foot on Mexican soil, he was arrested again. So the U.S. already used you for whatever they were going to use you for and sent you back, and it's Mexico bullying you. Okay, I got you. Accused of various homicides. In 28 years of legal battles, his lawyers have managed to get federal courts to dismiss due to prosecution errors or the statute of limitations. Coño, man. In Mexico, to this day, only one charge has been proven against him: drug possession in 1993. Listen, I was accused. What does that mean? Los delitos contra la salud. Disturbing the peace? What was he talking about? I was accused por los delitos contra la salud because of what they accused me of. It's crazy. He looks the same way as the day he was arrested. He went from looking old to old. I was accused of crimes, and for all the things they accused me of, I served my sentence. And she said, what crimes are they? Crimes against peace. Un delito que se me juzgó por 7 años. He said, other than that, they've made fabrications. Coño, man. He called them liars. He was accused of being the mastermind behind 2 homicides allegedly planned inside of prison. During the interview with Hector Palma Salazar, he claims to have been extorted inside the federal prison. In our next report, he tells us who, when, and how he was allegedly extorted to obtain his freedom. Damn. He got accusations and shit. All right. Guero Palma claimed to be a political prisoner. However, many consider him co-founder of the ILL Cartel, one of the most influential drug lords in Mexican history. In the second part of this interview, she just said that, papas. He explains how he was allegedly extorted in a federal prison in exchange for his freedom. On May 17th, it seems like everything was ready for Guero Palma to leave the federal prison. A judge in the state of Hidalgo had ordered his immediate release after new homicide charges had expired. The following day, 2 different judges again requested his arrest. During our exclusive telephone interview from prison, El Guero Palma stated that despite the order for his immediate release, it wasn't until 4 hours later that he was notified that there were new arrest warrants. Coño, man. They got a problem with him. They trying to keep his ass in jail. He said, I can't explain why there's so much interest in me and who I am to keep me in prison. I already paid to society what they accused me of. The new accusations are that he was the mastermind between 2 homicides in 2000, one in Jalisco, one in Hidalgo, planned during his years in prison. What was she's good. She's like, he ain't near me. I'll ask him whatever I want. What was your involvement in those accusations, Mr. Palma? None. Young lady, I didn't participate in any way in those things. Those things are fabricated by the prosecution of the Republic. A single witness, where his lawyer says a single witness has already been discredited by all the courts in the country. False contradictory witnesses. According to Guero Palma, 3 years ago, he was extorted in the visiting area of the federal prison. Oh, he's saying 2020. In 2020, he was extorted. They gave me a card. They passed me a card or sent me a card, and they asked me for $6 million, and then they'd give me my freedom. No. He's saying it was the federal prosecutor that gave it to him, that told him this. And she said, which federal prosecutor? He said, they're investigating that. We've already gave our statement. No. The trials for the 2 murders could keep him in prison for several more years. Guero Palma's lawyer and his client, they assessed the risk involved for both of them in speaking from prison and are already considering taking their case to international courts. So Velez, I thought he already served his time in Mexico and in the U.S. So did he. He thought the same shit. Okay, crimes against health. I always wondered why Chapo and Mayo couldn't help him get out, or maybe they wanted him in there too. In the TV shows, they infer, and more than infer, that they put him in there, that they left him there. I wonder who wants to keep him in prison. Who's scared of him coming out? Somebody. How old he is. They're going to drop another body on him. Plot twist. It was Mayo with his connections that kept him in there so Mayo's position wouldn't get dropped. Anything is possible. I believe that Chapo and Mayo thought he was a liability. He was out for revenge and not thinking about business. Quite possible. And if indeed that was the catalyst for them not fucking with him no more. I often ask the question, is that where the cartel started going after family and shit? Because that was a very brutal fucking story. Yo, Velez, you gotta take dude off the fucking high horse, bro. You gotta stop it, bro. Mario wouldn't do that. He would never do something like that. Cut the shit, bro. Cut the shit. The fuck out of here. He'd do whatever. What's up? You denying that he been turning motherfuckers in for 50 years? I expect better from you. Someone high doesn't want him to get out. P. He did have war with the Arellano Feliz cartel. I believe that's what Patricia's talking about. You know, that was more than war, right? That was blood vendetta. I want to destroy everything you've ever fucking loved, everything that's ever loved you. Topic. They all been turning in enemies and their own lower level people. Absolutely. Fuck them. Wait a minute. He said it was $6 million and he could get out. He was being extorted, but his ex-wife and that dude that killed his wife took out $6 million from his account and stash houses. Was that the exact number? No. That would be crazy. Can't even crack the code in this bitch. That's hilarious. Shout out HG. No way Velez is the #1 fan of El Mayo. Numero uno nuno. That's it. Me either. Shout out Ish, bro. I got uncles and cousins that smoked each other. I don't put nothing below anyone. Nothing. Sick. They dropped his kids off a bridge. Indeed they did. I can't blame him for having a blood vendetta, but also, it's your fault, Papas. It's your fault. It's your fault. You introduced that shit to your family, bro. You do it, it bleeds all over your family. So I don't, miss me with the sympathies. Shy, you're so heartless. We're dealing with a heartless situation here. Fuck you talking about? Guero gonna serve 70 years on a 10-year sentence. Yeah. Some guys, who knows what it is they know. Maybe they don't know nothing. Maybe that's just the guy that they chose and they said, hey, you're the guy. Don't think about going home.